going on, everybody? It's your boy Reggie here, rolling in Godspeed. It's my Civic Type R, that's what I call her. Just wanted to just kind of share some things with you guys today. Been daily dose of inspiration. Just been thinking about a really unique subject that I think a lot of people deal with. I'm sure everybody deals with it in some kind of way. Overcoming fear. And to be completely honest, I think the biggest problem when it comes to overcoming fear is really, it all just stems from a lack of faith. If you don't have faith in whatever subject it is you're fearing, you're always going to be fearful. And you're always going to remain fearful. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's a new project that you're working on. I don't care what it is you want to put into that field. You can just, if you have fear of, fill in the blank. It all stems from a lack of fear. I'm sorry, from a lack of faith. And the reason why I say that is because of this. If you have fear that your relationship is going to fail, it's because you don't have faith in it. You don't believe that it can work. You don't believe that it should be for you. You don't believe in the fact that it could work out because you don't have faith in it. So, truthfully, what I really believe people should do when it comes to their fears is first admit the fact that you don't have faith that it's going to work. And we all fall short of the glory of God every day. And not to mention, we all are fearful at times. And the biggest thing we need to make sure we focus on is just having faith that things are going to work out. Believe me, God intended on things to be good for us because of Him. And if we don't see that, that's where the fear creeps in. And the deception is that we don't deserve to have good things. We don't deserve for things to be good for us. And that's how people end up remaining fearful even when they're safe. And I love what Zig Ziglar and Les Brown say about fear. They turn it into an acronym as false evidence appearing real. And a lot of times, sometimes our fear of something is more real than what we actually have. For example, how many people are actually in a good relationship and they fear that it's not going to work out, so they actually spend more time focusing on how things could not work compared to the things that do. I mean, what's the common phrase that everybody always says? You never really know what you got till it's gone, right? So you fear that things aren't going to be good, so what do? You don't take advantage of it. You don't see the value in it. So when things are not going so good, you don't value it, so you don't try to fight for it, right? One of my biggest mentors was one of my old bosses, a lady named Sylvia. I'm not going to go all into our relationship, but she was a very, very inspirational person. She was awesome, and still is a really good friend. And she did public speaking, and in the midst of her doing public speaking, there was a lot of times where she didn't know exactly how she was going to deliver something, but we bounced ideas off of each other. She bounced ideas off of me. I mean, sometimes I pose questions to her, and sometimes she'd actually do one of her presentations in front of me just to kind of get some feedback. And it's not because I was going to tell her something that was, ultimately going to wow her, but sometimes we just have to lean on some of our closest friends and our family and our spouses and things like that, because whenever you do things like that, those are the things that help you grow. And if you're not strong enough, if you're not wise enough to be able to go to people that you trust or go to people that have done certain things before, or even just take a leap of faith on things you've never done, then you're never going to be able to grow. You have to be able to step out and do things you're not necessarily comfortable with. That's usually where the best growth happens. So, I mean, I've said all that to say this. The Word of God says a lot about fear. And one of my favorite verses is Jeremiah 29:11. And that's one of the biggest defenses for fear and the deception is knowing the Word of God, quoting the Word of God. And I'm not saying that I can quote that verse verbatim, but essentially it says this. It says, I know the plans I have for you are plans for good, not plans of evil. You know, and it alludes to the fact that if the creator of all things has plans for you to do well and prosper, that's all positive. We just have to rest in that. But when you get comfortable in the fact that things could happen, or, you know, they never worked out for me before, that's where you get lost. And a lot of people remain lost like that, and they never see the good. They always end up focusing on the bad. If I can leave you with anything today, your daily dose of inspiration is stop focusing on the bad. Try to take any good away that you can from any subject, any situation that you've ever been in, and even ones that you haven't been in, ones that other people have been in. And I can guarantee you're going to have success. I can guarantee it. I have the great privilege of having some really good friends in my past, and still have some really good friends. And those individuals help inspire me. As much as people, much people think I inspire others, so many other people invest in me, and that's how I'm able to essentially recycle a lot of the things that I've learned and help other people with it. But you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to make mistakes. If you've been working on a project and you don't really know where to start, just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you can't do it. If you've been thinking about going to maybe another position, or maybe taking that promotion, or maybe even going to another job, been there, done that. A lot of times it might be fearful and you might not know what to do, or what the next step's going to be. It doesn't mean it won't be positive. I'm telling you, take that leap. Take the leap. The only thing you can do is grow from it. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. I can guarantee you that's the difference between a failure and a winner. Is a winner has fallen and then gotten back up. A loser or a failure has fallen and stayed down. So keep getting back up. One love and God bless.